Welcome, 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 welcome. It's Sunday Fun Day. I hope you all had a marvelous Sunday just as I did. It was a good day for me, just like it always is. Yeah, it was a good day today. It was a good day today. We got a good show today, people. We got a good show today. Let's find us a seat, enjoy the show, and sit back. Just like always. It's a good day today. It's a good day to be alive. Somebody ought to be excited. Somebody ought to get excited. They woke up this morning because I am. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. It's a good day today. Today is a good day. It's a good day today. If I could sing, I would, but I don't want to embarrass myself. It's a good day today. Like I said, I call this Sunday Fun Day. It's one day before Monday. It's one day before Monday. Sunday Fun Day. It's going to be a good show today, though. It's going to be a good show today. It's like no other. It's always good. It's always good. Tune in. Tune in and stay in. Just stick around. Stick around. Sunday Fun Day. It's not Monday. It's Sunday. So if I'm smiling, you ought to be smiling. You ought to be smiling. You ought to be smiling. But I like to say, at the end of this show, if you have any comments or any questions for the guests, you can ask those questions and comments at the end of this video. It's going to be a good show today, though, like it always is. It always is. You might want to get you a cup of popcorn, soda on the side. We ain't got no NFL, but guess what? We got the Ferguson Chronicles. Sunday Fun Day. Sunday Fun Day. Let's do it. Sunday Fun Day. Somebody ought to get excited. Somebody ought to get excited. Let's get out of that hallway. Let's get out of that hallway. Don't cross that yellow line. Let's get out of that hallway. Sunday Fun Day. It's almost time to take off, like I always say, like a rocket. Like a rocket. Yep. It's time to take off like a rocket. It's time to take off like a rocket. Sunday Fun Day. It's almost Monday. Wouldn't miss this for nothing in the world. Wouldn't miss it for nothing in the world. Wouldn't miss it. Let's get it. Let's get it. We count down to blast off. We're under 1 minute now. Let's go. If you're watching, please share the content, please. If you are watching, share the content. Let's get it out there. Let them know the day room is now open. The day room is open. Let's get it out there. Share this content. Let's share this content. Let's get it out there. It's almost, we're up under 20 seconds. It's time to take off like a rocket. Them doors for the road. What's good, YouTube? Once again, it's the one and only OG Hollywood coming back at you with another edition of the most popular Ferguson Chronicle. Today, I have in studio an individual that goes by the name Mr. Oscar OG Green. He's here to tell his story and the time he spent on the Ferguson Unit. However, before we get into this, it's mandatory that I tell you a little bit about me. Did 10 years on that Ferguson Unit, running in and out of those day rooms, up and down those hallways. Met a lot of guys in my 25 years spent in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Was on 3 units. Ferguson happened to be one of those units. And that's why I had the privilege of meeting Mr. OG Oscar Green. Let's tap in with Mr. Oscar Green, please. What's up, Oscar?
Hey, what's up, Hollywood, man? How you doing?
Oh, man, I'm blessed and highly favored, man.
Sure
How's
enough,
life been treating you, bro?
Huh?
I said, how's life been treating you?
Oh, man, it treating me well, man. I'm doing good.
That's good, man. So we both blessed, man. We both blessed, man.
And highly favored.
Yes. So, man, without further ado, man, let's get it right into this, man. Tell the viewers a little bit about you, where you from, and what led you to prison.
All right. Hey, viewers, my name is Oscar OG Green. I'm from South Dallas. I got caught up doing an armed robbery. They sentenced me to 20 years in the Texas Department of Corrections, and I got sent to that Ferguson unit, and hard knock life. And the thing about that is, without even knowing about penitentiary, you know, you hear the rumors out on the street and stuff like that, but not knowing nothing about the penitentiary. But when you get there and you go through them back doors and they take you in, before you even get into the building, they got a little room they put you in and strip you down and give you uniforms to put on. And then they take you to the intake and stuff like that. And then you get them butterflies because you hear people hollering, you hear noise, you hear doors. You're like, man, I ain't used to this here. I'm used to running them streets. You know, and it's crazy.
Let me ask you something, Oscar. Let me ask you something. So I know you said you had butterflies, right?
Yeah.
You had butterflies.
Right.
So what was your first thought of process when you pulled up at the back gate of the Ferguson unit, being as though you heard all those stories from the county jail through diagnostic, and they told you were going to be assigned to the Ferguson unit, right?
Right.
What was your thought process when you got off the back gate there?
Man, when I get off that bus, man, my process like, this is real. It's about to go down. So my fear was not what's going to happen, but when it's going to happen, and am I going to make it back home? That was the thing. That was my main thing.
So if you can remember, right?
Right.
What was it like when you first entered the hallways of the Ferguson unit? What was it like then?
My first day there, in the hallways, coming out that back door, you hear noises everywhere, and then there was a fight going on, so laws was running everywhere. I'm like, man, they sent me to the hellhole. So I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna have to fit in with my society in order to make it. You know what I'm saying? So that's already going through my mind. So I'm like, whatever goes, it's gonna have to go. I'm gonna deal with the program to survive. I'm making it back home. So I'm hearing noises, laws running everywhere. Then I smell gas. They rushing us down the hallway, trying to get us in that classification down there. They don't want us to see whatever's going on back there, you know. So all that's playing effect, and I'm like, damn. And then the guard that's walking us back there, you know, they got that prison talk, so they just talking, y'all come on, blah, blah, blah. Y'all gonna be going through that, y'all gonna see, blah, 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 blah. So I'm like, you know, now it's playing on your mental, you know what I'm saying? So you like, man, I wonder which one I'm going to, you know what I'm saying? What block I'm gonna hit. So, you know, it was all kind of stuff going on, man.
So when you first enter classification, right?
Right.
And they assign you to the block.
Right.
What block did you have the privilege of entering first?
The privilege I had to block it. I had the privilege in a C block, man. They call that the rock and roll block. It was straight medium custody. So I went straight on C block, and soon as I hit the block, you know, we had to put our stuff up under the stairs. You know, later on, you know, people coming in, they take them to the cell, let they put their stuff up and all that. But when I was coming through back then, we put our stuff up under the stairs. We entered the day room, what they call it the terror dome. So we had to enter the day room, and then, you know, we go on from there. We get our scratch, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You got to get introduced to the block, as they call it.
So I know me and you know what get your scratch mean, but for the viewers, give them a little bit about what you mean by get your scratch. You know, give them a paint the picture for them what it was like for Oscar to enter the day room on his first day on C block.
It's like this. Okay, after we put our stuff up under the stairs, the guard said, "Man, are y'all ready?" And I'm like, "Okay." He opened the gate. We went inside the day room, and then what I mean by getting your scratch is, it's like your heart check. See, you gonna fight or not? You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't gonna fight, then they put you in a category over here. If you whatever, you get categorized as whatever. You know what I'm saying? But they're trying to see if you're gonna stay down. Mean is you gonna hold your own? Because they want to know people that's gonna hold their own. So when some jump off, like they were having a lot of racial riots, so they wants to know is you gonna be down to hold your own. So they doing a heart check like that.
So I noticed you said they would categorize you to see what you're gonna hold your own, right?
Right.
So we don't confuse the viewers, right?
Right.
Let's go ahead and tell them what you mean by characterize you.
Okay. They got a thing in prison. Either they said you're gonna be a punk, you're gonna pay for protection, or you're gonna hold your own. Those are three categories right there. So you either gonna pay for protection, that meaning giving your money up that your family out here sending to you, the hard money that they sending to you to scrape up to get to you, you giving it to somebody else because you scared to fight. Or they say you become a punk or whatever, try to turn you out, make you gay, or you just weak or something like that. And then if you hold your own, that means you stand on your own too, like a man's supposed to. You out there in the streets doing wrong, when you get down here, they ain't got no pistols and stuff like that. Only pistols they got is their hands and knives. So you stand on your own too, and you good to go. Those are three categories.
Good look. So what point in time did Oscar get a chance to prove that he was gonna hold his own?
Oh, day one. You go as soon as you enter the day room, you're gonna get checked. Whoever entered that day room and you knew and you fresh off that chain, you're gonna get checked. You're gonna get hard checked. So the first day you're gonna have a fight, but it ain't gonna be one fight. You got to go 3 rounds. You got to have 3 fights. And just to stay down on your own. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it goes. I don't know why the number 3, you could have 2 and stay down, or 1, but they go 3 rounds. So I don't know why that number's 3, but that's the way it is. Or that's the way it was.
So if you can remember, how was the setup in the day room when you entered the day room? How was it segregated?
Okay, yeah, it was racially divided. You have when you enter the day room on the right-hand side, you have the essays, the Hispanics up under, they got their TV. On the far left-hand side, you got the blacks, African Americans, they have their TV. And then in the middle was a very small section for the white people. They got their sections. Now, they don't have a TV because now it's racial. It's, how can you say it? It's racial, real racial in prison. So by that being, and we know that white is supposed to be superior and we're supposed to be inferior to them. So that's the way it goes. So the minorities run in the penitentiary instead of the majorities. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way they go. They get a very small piece of the pie.
So during your stay there, were you ever involved in any racial riots?
Oh yeah, I was involved in several of them. You know, back in '93, they were jumping off like crazy. '94, '95, you know, racial riots was jumping off. Mexicans and blacks, Mexicans on Mexicans, Mexicans and whites, whites and blacks. You know, they got their little different cliques going on in there. You know, you got the Crips and Bloods for the blacks. You know, Black Disciples and all that other stuff. Black gangs. Then the whites got their gangs and stuff like that. And the Spanish guys, Hispanic guys, they got their gangs. So, you know, they could jump off, you know, the wind blow too strong, it can jump off in there. You know what I'm saying? So everybody's young, everybody hormones jumping. So any little thing can tick something off. You know what I'm saying? So
let me ask this. Let me ask this, Oscar. If you can remember, what was one of your worst days in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice on that Ferguson unit?
Okay, one of my worst days was I was on closed custody, which was B wing at the time. Not M and N, but they had moved it to B wing. This later on down after they switched the unit around a little bit. But I was on B wing, and I was on closed custody, and I was housed on the first tier, the bottom row, and we was getting ready to go to rec. And, you know, on closed custody, you only get an hour out for rec. And I wanted to enjoy my hour. I ain't did nothing to get my privilege taken away from me. So this officer come to work. I guess he all worked up or whatever. So he's walking up and down the first tier, said, somebody ain't going to rec today. I'm going to pick a number. So he just walking up and down. Then he stopped at my cell and said, you're not going to rec today. So I said, excuse me, what you talking about? He said, you're not going to rec. I was like, man, I'm going to rec. You're not going. So to make a long story short, I packed all my stuff up in my cell because if I ain't going to rec, I'm finna go to solitary. Somebody finna get it because this is my only time for recreation. So anyway, to make a long story short, the doors rolled. Me and the officer had an altercation. Matter of fact, I don't know if you know, well, you know Dewberry. He was housed with me on the same block. And Dewberry was on the wing and he saw everything that happened. But this officer named Joe, we got into an altercation on the run. Then all the officers came when they called, fight. And they like Rodney King me, kicked me in my throat, temporarily paralyzed my left vocal cord. And they had to rush me to Galveston Hospital. And that was my worst day. And I lost my voice for about, I couldn't talk, but with a high pitched voice for like 3 months. I'm sounding like, that's the only way I can talk. But then I had a pad I had to walk around with just to write down everything because I couldn't really talk. I couldn't catch my breath because I had a partially paralyzed left vocal cord.
So let me ask this. So that particular officer, as you mentioned, Rodney King, you right?
Well, I got into it with that officer, but when they called out for other officers, they kind of Rodney King. And what I mean by that, I'm laying on the ground and they get hitting and kicking and with the sticks and whatever they got, they hitting me and kicking me with it. And I'm damn near in the fetal position on the ground trying to protect my vital organs.
So were all these officers black, Hispanic, white? What color were they?
It was a mixture of all three races. And if it wasn't for a nurse named Miss Hensley when she was there. I don't know if she's still there, but that lady, she jumped on while they was hitting me and kicking me. She jumped on top of me and told them, "That's enough. Y'all ain't gonna kill this baby," you know. And that's the only thing I think that really saved me from getting my eye kicked out, teeth kicked out, or something like that.
So once you were transferred and taken to the Galveston County Hospital, better known as John Seeley, right?
Yes.
Okay, so how long did it take for you to get back to the unit?
I stayed over there about 2 months, 2.5 months, 3, something like that. It was a while because they had to do, they had to go through my nose to, well, through my mouth to operate on my larynx, and then I had to go through speech therapy, make sure I get my voice back up and stuff like that. It was a whole lot of things I had to go through.
And were you brought back to the Ferguson unit? If you were, what block you were assigned on once you were brought back?
Once I was brought back, I went straight into solitary confinement for the action of the fight. And then after that, I came back to closed custody, which was B block. I'm sorry.
So let me ask you this. So you were housed on B block, right?
Yes.
With solitary confinement, right?
Well, after solitary confinement, they put me on B block.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So after you were released from solitary confinement, right?
Yes,
You were
sir.
put on B block.
Yes, sir.
And was that still closed custody?
Yes, it was still closed custody.
Uh,
It was still closed custody. They had a special row on the top of B. The third row on B wing was category 5, where they take all your privileges away and everything, strip everything, and they housed me up there for about 45 days. And then
what kind of case were you given for the altercation with the officer?
it was called assault on the officer. It was assault on the officer within a penal institution. That's what they put on the paper. And they was saying that if I was to try to file charges on the officers for or a lawsuit or something on the officers for damaging my left vocal cord, that they was going to file charges and try to give me more time for attacking the officer, because they said I came out of my cell and attacked the officer, which I did do that. I came out of my cell because he tried to stop me from going to rec when I could have just stayed in there and said, "Hey, I catch rec tomorrow." But I brought it upon myself to come out that cell and fight that officer.
So at that particular time when you was incarcerated, right?
Yes, sir.
How was your physical stature then?
Oh, my physical stature. I was well built, man. I was, from the county to the prison, hitting weights. There I go, hitting weights and everything like that. So I was up to par. You know what I'm saying? I can handle my own. I was, doing my thing.
So let me ask this. So if you can remember, because I know it's been a long time, during your time there, did you see any racial tension between officers and inmates beside the time that you were jumped on?
Yes. The time I was there, I seen tensions not only between officers and inmates, but officers and officers. But the officer and inmates, that went on like they had like the night shift, which was from like 12 p.m. to 4 or 5 in the morning. They had like a white gang, so people was kind of scared. A white gang of officers with special bandanas in their back pocket, red, blue, green. Well, not blue, it was red, green, and some other color. I can't remember. But they worked on the overnight shift, what we call it, and it's the breakfast shift. And they had, they'll grab an inmate, throw them against the wall. So people were scared to go to breakfast. They just slam them for no reason in the middle of the hallway. And, the third shift, people were scared to go to breakfast because of that. And it was a crazy time. So you took your chance going to breakfast. That's what they was. You took your chance because they just pull you out randomly and just talk to you, get you off guard or whatever, or make you turn and face the wall, and they grab you and slam you. They slam you on your face, break your arm, leg, anything. So you had to be prepared when you go.
So after all this violence that you went through, and you were still being held on close custody, right?
Mm-hmm.
How did you manage to deal with that from a mental standpoint on a day-to-day basis, man?
Okay. With that being said, I can take you back to when I first came in. I was like, remember I told you I was gonna be ready for whatever. I'm gonna blend in whatever. So that's what that was going through my mind at the time. So I'm still blending in whatever situation I'm in or environment I'm in. I'm gonna adapt to it. So my mental at that time was like, okay, this is the way it's gonna go. This is the way it go. I got to be like this over here. I got to be like this. It might not be me, but that's the way I got to be just to make it. So I had to do that. But my mental was strong. I always read, kept my mind going, because if you had an idle mind, if a mind is rest, that's where it's going to be at, stay at rest. But if you keep your mind moving, you know what I'm saying, you can always elevate and improve yourself. So with that being said, I did about 7-8 years in the fields because I didn't want to do right. I didn't want to come out and get a job, you know what I'm saying? So I stayed on closed custody. I didn't want to come out and get a job, work in the kitchen or SSI or laundry, you know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, man, I'm going to stay out in these fields. I work from this time to work this time. I come back and cheat, I don't have to worry about nothing. That was my crazy thinking. But over time, I'm like, no, I got to better myself because I'm not only doing time, my people are doing time. And, and I had kids at the time, so they was all doing time. So that was hard. So I had to get it together.
Let me ask you this. So I noticed you said in the fields, right?
Right.
Give us a high overview of how you felt every morning you woke up going to the fields, knowing that you were working for free.
Right. Okay, with that, at first, going to the fields, it was like, okay, this is the way you start off. All right, okay, I'm brand new, so we going to the fields. And after a while, I'm like, hold on, man, this is like modern day slavery, man. I'm picking cotton. I thought they outlawed this and that. So I was trying to be rebellious. So by me being rebellious and going out there to them fields and refusing to pick whatever it is, whether it's cotton, whether it's corn, chopping maize, picking vegetables, watermelon, whatever it was, I'm being rebellious because I'm saying this is not right. This is not right. But then I belong to the state now, so the state utilizes me however they utilize me. As long as they ain't breaking my constitutional right, I have to go out to these fields in order to better myself. So with that being said, let's picture like you've seen in the movies where you got white people on the horses with a gun, watching over a group of blacks in the fields with a big old sack, putting cotton in it or fruit or whatever they're picking, corn or whatever, and hauling it. 100-pound sack. You hauling it on your back, hot. You done been out there 3 or 4 hours, and you hauling this big old corn sack over your shoulders, taking it to a wagon that might be 30, 40 feet away. You know what I'm saying? You got to run it over there. Well, they not run it, but you try to hurry up, get it off your shoulders. So you take it over there, give it to whoever, get you a fresh sack and continue on. And you might be out there you come in for lunch, they'll feed you a little bit. You'll go to your cell for about 30 to 45 minutes, just enough to rest your feet, take you, use the restroom or whatever. And then they're going to come get you and run you back out there. And you're going to remain out there till like 4 or 5. Then they're going to bring you in to eat your last meal.
So let's talk about the weather conditions, right?
Oh, man. Yeah.
So let's talk about the weather conditions. Were there any times when it was hot that you all got to stay in?
Well, no, not really, because if it ain't, they say 95 or better, don't take you out. But on Ferguson, it was like if it ain't 110 or better, you going to them fields. They getting that crop pick. But you see people out there falling out, fainting. Like I got a fresh shaved head, sun beating down, that your head start pussing up. You know what I'm saying? And I seen all that, especially people falling out. You see that constantly. And then the man steady driving you. And then you got people that's in the line with you that might be just chopping grass in the line with you, fussing at you because the man is fussing. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? We all out here. We all don't want to be out here. But now you making it worse by, because you being the lead or whatever, or next to the lead, now you're taking that on everybody. So it was a lot of fights behind the white man.
So let me ask this. So I noticed you said lead, right?
Yes.
Once again, me and you know what a lead is because we were both incarcerated. However, for the viewers,
okay,
would you explain what the lead mean and what is his job?
Okay. For y'all that don't know, the lead, when they call the whole squad, we call it the whole squad. Not hoe like in bad, but hoe as in a garden hoe. So we call it the whole squad. So the man on the horse, the officer, the overseer, he appoints somebody a lead over each line or each group of people. And this person is to maintain the line, to make sure the line is cutting evenly or pretty much evenly, and to make sure there's no stragglers.
So let me ask this. So his job is to maintain the line and, as you said, keep order restored while you all are working, right?
Yes, sir.
If at any time anybody in the line is not in order, what would the lead row do?
Okay, the lead row, he'll notify the officer that inmate so-and-so is lagging or tripping. The officer will reply, why you telling me for handle that? You know what I'm saying? So when he said handle that, that means handle that situation however you deem you want to handle it. So by most ways people handle it, or the leads handle it, they call him out of the line and start a fight with him. You know what I'm saying? To satisfy the officer that's the overseer. And that's like, that play on your mental. Because that, to me, that's more like a, what they call it, an Uncle Tom or something for the white man. You know what I'm saying? But it play on your mental, and I seen some people swing the garden hoe, which is the hoe, and we call it the hoe squad. They swing the garden hoe, and sometimes people get hit with it or whatever, and they fighting each other all because of nothing about what this overseer, and we all doing time. And that didn't make no sense to me. But, you know, it's just the way it was. Some people institutionalized, that means they fell within the system and abide within the system. Now the system is a part of them. And the way the system goes, they seem that that's right. They seem to think that that's right. And that's their way of thinking.
So let me ask this. So let's talk about some of those people that you met in the day room.
Okay. Now, the day room, that's a fun place after a while. After you get situated, you know, and let's say after your first 90, 100 days there, you get situated, you know, you squared away. The day room is a very fun place. It's where you go watch, you know, you watch your sports, play your games, your dominoes, you know, read books or sit back and just drink coffee and just reminisce about the world. You know what I'm saying? Because you got people in there from all parts of different parts of the world, or the city or the state or whatever. You got interesting people in there. So that's where you go to mingle, socialize, meet friends once you meet them, and stuff like that. And the interesting people that I met along the way is one is for you, Dewberry, Big Papa, the list goes on. You got Big Milk. You got a lot of guys that's doing things, man. So shout out to all those guys that came off Ferguson, man. I'm glad y'all made it home, man. And y'all just keep doing what you're doing. I see some of y'all doing the good works, man. But the rest of us, man, come on, man. We got resources out here. Just reach out for us.
So let me ask this. So let's talk about some of those visions that were planted in your head in the day room to help you succeed in life once you were set free. Some of those visions that you got in your head.
Okay, I had a vision, like shout out to Big Milk. He came out with the OG hat. That was one of my visions. I ain't saying that he stole it or nothing like that, no. But that was my vision because that's my initials. But he turned into a brand. And big shouts out to him. That was one of my visions. Get a clothing line started. And another guy out of Fort Worth, he got his clothing line started. Visions like that. Or my mind was, well, let me back up. They got free schooling down there. That's the first thing. So the first thing is get your education. If you don't have a GED, get that. And then they got free schooling. They got trades. They got college. You got to apply yourself. And once you get out of that rut of being, just a day room bandit, as they call it, and apply yourself, and then that's when the visions start coming. Them seeds started getting planted. And then you have things like college trades. Like my vision was to come out and start, a lawn service just to get started, or a boutique store, a daiquiri shop, and stuff like that. And those things still in the works.
So let me ask you this. So how did it feel getting that FI for parole and knowing that you were going to be released? What was the feeling when you knew you was going to be released?
Well, see, the thing with me was I kept getting denied. I got denied, all the way up to my 17th, 18th year. And then when I did receive that FI, I denied that. Reason because I only had 2 years left. And then the other thing besides that was I didn't want to be walking on eggshells those 2 years or anything that could send me back. So I did those 2 years, discharged the whole 20, and came home scot-free. Don't have to worry about nothing, and applied myself.
So I must ask this, Green. During your time of incarceration, right? Was there any family members lost?
No. Praise God to that. Praise God to that. No family members lost at all. No immediate family or family.
Okay. Let's talk about that first day being home.
Oh.
What did that feel like?
Man, that kind of felt like you get that feeling when you first learn how to drive a car, that good feeling like that. Man, it felt like that. And I ran straight to mama, went straight to mama, hugged mama, spent the first month with mama. And, because, them days and times you can't get back. So that right there was like, or having a brand new baby. You know what I'm saying? That feeling there. This is my little boy. This is my little girl. You know what I'm saying? That feeling. That's what it felt like that first day getting out. You know what I'm saying? That joy. You know what I'm saying? Man, that was so much weight lifted off. Then I couldn't have to adjust to certain situations when I can just focus on getting my life together.
Let's talk about some of those struggles let's talk about some of those struggles that you had to go through once you were released, man. And I know we all go through struggles. We struggle in different ways, man. But I want to talk about the struggle that OG Green had. What
Right.
was your biggest struggle?
My biggest struggle was employment denied because of my background. So that was my biggest struggle. So with that being, I kept going. I refused to go back to my old ways. That didn't get me nowhere. I know where that led me to. So I refused to go back that way. So I just kept going and going and going. So finally, this one guy said, you know what? I seen you working, here and there, little jobs here and there, here and there. Hey, why don't you come over here to my job? So I went and applied to his job, and they were saying no, 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 because of this. And then he said, well, he was the manager at the time. He said, well, I'm willing to take a chance with him. And from then on, he got me in the door, and I worked my way up, and I've been working ever since. Ever since 2013, January 2013 to now, I've been working ever since.
I salute that, man, because sometimes when people get out of prison, man, it's very difficult and very hard to even acquire a job, man. For you to get that, man, once again, you're highly favored and blessed, bro. So let me ask you this. What is your key to success on staying free and staying focused?
Okay. Staying free and staying focused. My success, I'll say, is you have to stay focused. You got to have a plan, and you have to execute that plan. And then if you have to try to execute the plan, and then if you don't go according to plan, then you replan. You always got to have a B and a C. You know what I'm saying? You got to follow up. You just can't give up. So whenever you think that, man, I'm tired. Man, somebody worse than you. And you know where you came from. So you know it's somebody worse than you. So you got to keep trying, stay focused. You got to keep positive people around you. If you get out and you go back to them same people that's doing the same thing when you got locked up way back then and they still doing the same thing, them ain't, you high and by those people. You know what I'm saying? You speak because you know them. Y'all probably growed up together. But them ain't the cats, people that you need to hang around. You need to uplift your circle. You know what I'm saying? If I'm trying to get rich, I'm gonna try to hang around some rich people. You know what I'm saying? So I can get the ins and outs on how they do it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm trying to be a car salesman, let's say for instance, I'm gonna hang around somebody who sell cars. You see what I'm saying? You got to go, and I ain't gonna hang around a car. I'm trying to be a car salesman, and I'm hanging around people, that's they doing door to door or whatever. You know what I'm saying? No, so that ain't my. I mean, go ahead.
No, you're fine. So let me ask. So, I like to ask you this, Green man, because it's very important to me, man. Once again, I appreciate you for being on the show, man. I wouldn't have had it no other way, man. But I have to ask you this, man. How important was it for OG Green to come out to the Ferguson Chronicle and tell his story, man? How important was that to you?
It was very important, man, because a lot of people, to the youngsters out there, that they think that that's the life and they glorifying that life, but they don't tell you after that life. You know what I'm saying? Once you get caught, what you facing down south. You know what I'm saying? And the people that's in power, they ain't got no problem with hiding you, 10, 15, 20 years. That's a genocide. You know what I'm saying? So they don't mind hiding you. They ain't got no problem with it. They still gonna sleep at night, go to dinner, eat full. You know what I'm saying? But y'all youngsters out there, get together. If you can get in school, college, learn a trade, do that. Because now it's just modern day slavery. They don't call you slaves no more. You know what I'm saying? They call you criminals. You know what I'm saying? Because it's too much money involved in it. and they switched the word from slavery to criminals now.
So I know I asked you, what did it feel like to come home your first day, right?
Right.
I have to ask you this, because you were locked up in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice for so long, and you slept many nights in prison, right?
Right.
What was it like to finally be home and go to sleep in your own bed the day that you were released?
Man, it felt, like I say, man, it felt like like I said, a big weight off your shoulder, because now you ain't worrying about every time the door rolls, you popping up, looking, trying to see if somebody gonna run in there and try to take you out, or anything that's going on. You know, it's a relief. You got to worry about that. So that stress off your mind is gone. Now you sleeping comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Relaxed, worry free. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to worry about tomorrow when I wake up, I got to go do this. Watch out for this person. Watch out for that person. No, I don't have to do that. Now I'm worry free. I'm sleep. Man, it's a beautiful thing. Can't hear you. You mute. I can't hear you. You mute me.
Like I always say, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Like I always say, man, and I always let everybody that comes on the show, man, when they come on, I always give them the privilege, because it's an honor to me, and I want to be an honor to you to close the show on any note that you choose to close the show on, man. But before I do that, man, I'd like to say I appreciate you for allowing me to take a couple of minutes of your time, man, for you to release your story, because I know it's therapeutic after doing so much time in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, man. I salute you for allowing me to be able to do this, man. So like I do everybody else, man, I want to allow you to close this show on any note that you choose to, brother.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say, man, us as men, we need to, take responsibility and raise up our shorties, and that any person that I've misled, I like to say that I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I've misled a lot of people down the wrong path, but I like to say I'm sorry to that. And now it's time for us men to take responsibility in raising our own kids. And I'd like to thank you for having me on the show, and let everyone know that there's resources out here. Please don't hesitate to reach out to you, OG Hollywood. If you need anything, reach me. The Midway Connection, anything. If anything we can help, we can help. Because if we all we got, because it's all we need.
So at this time, is it anybody in the chat that has any questions for Mr. Green? You can do that now. So I noticed Mr. Cisco over here, man, but he said what it was like trying to sleep at the Ferguson unit, man. What was it like trying to sleep?
Hey, man, you couldn't sleep that first night because, one, you gonna fall asleep, but it's hard to go to sleep because you're in a new environment. You don't know what to expect. You just got through fighting all day, and now you're healing from that, and now you don't know what to expect. You don't know who your cellie is. You know what I'm saying? You know his name, you see him, but you don't know who he is. You don't know what he's in there for. You don't know, so it's kind of hard to sleep. So it was very restless. Yeah, it was very, very restless, and kind of, I say. But you got butterflies, you're in a new environment, so that's to be expected.
I also have a question here, man, for Mr. Spoon Clemens, want him. He wants to know, have you ever did time with anybody that was in the military?
Yes. Yeah, several guys down there from the military. Yes. Most of them I met was from the Marines. It was a few from the Army. Yeah. It was a few of them down there. And some of them, I think that they had some type of PTSD or something, but, I'm not a doctor or nothing, but you can see that something was psychological wrong with them. But, like I said, I'm not a doctor. I couldn't diagnose it, but some of them was, they had a little mental problem, but some of them was good and great. And some of them functioned just, got off to the wrong foot, or when they got discharged, they got into the wrong settings and ended up in prison. But yeah, you see them a lot.
Well, Green Man, once again, it was a great show, man, with the help of you. And like I always say, this is the People Channel, and you can always come here to for therapeutic, for the mental state. However, always remember to like, subscribe, and share this information. You can only get it here at the Ferguson Chronicle, where nothing is scripted. Always live. Nothing is scripted. Real live people, real live story. Salute you, Mr. Green, and may God bless you and your family. Stay focused and free and continue to push forward, brother.
All right. Thank you too, sir. You have a nice one.
Salute.
Salute.